in your book, and the fact that you yourself really paranoid for several years.
Yes.
Now, it's a really uncomfortable feeling. Do you think, though, that fueled you, or that started to break you down?
Well, it was a little bit of paranoia, a whole lot of post-traumatic stress, a whole lot of trauma, depression, anxiety, all those things. Well, I would say this, the thing that got me on my journey to healing is that I started to learn and understand what I was going through, because before that, I actually thought something was wrong with me. Like, when you come from poverty, this is how you're supposed to feel. But I started to understand that there was terms and there was things that you can do to help with these things. That's why I put a lot of it in the book, because as a black man, when you come from where we come from, it's almost weak to have people help you, work through things, right? And for me, I had to learn that the hard way, that everybody needs some help. And I didn't know I had trauma. I didn't know I was depressed. I didn't know I had anxiety. I didn't know I had post-traumatic stress. I thought these are all the things that we go through.
You thought it was normal because in where you grew up and,
Right.
and the life you led,
Right.
it was normal,
Yeah, it
right?
was normalized, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure, it was normalized, and when you're losing friends at a young age, and even in your adulthood, and people that are around and they're going away doing 20, 30 years in prison and coming back like it's a normal thing, like, you don't understand how desensitized you are. And as you get older into your adult life, you wonder where things are coming from, but it's actually coming from your young adult.
Yo, what's up? Now, a lot of y'all are shocked. Jeezy has another child that he had from the other relationships, but you're going to be shocked to find out that there's even more than what you expected. Now, Javaris, his son he had back in 96, Jadaris was like Tanisha Dykes. That was their first child. It's Jeezy's first child. And, that's what it is. Now his social media platform, shows a close bond to him and his mom. It shows some pictures of him early on with Jeezy when he was growing up in the game, and then he believes his mother had a negative influence because, and she turned him against him and all that. But they kind of close now, they cordial, but it's not where it should be. According to a police report, Jeezy actually attacked his son and threatened his life. Came after him in a massive argument where Jeezy called his son out for being a punk. So they start screaming at each other, and Jeezy went crazy. And Jeezy actually grabbed the dude and pushed him through a shower door. And they was like, the threats were terroristic, and Jeezy reportedly arrested and charged with false imprisonment, and said that Jeezy threw Jadaris through that glass shower during the argument, and this caused Jadaris to suffer a head injury and all that. But Jeezy gave a different description of what happened, and he says he denies all claims that he physically attacked his son. Instead, he said he shoved Jadaris in self-defense, denied that he did anything that the police report said, but he did say that some of the words that he used, were not the words he should have. He's just like, I brought you in this world, I'll take you out. Jeezy has always been a guy who did what he wanted to do when he wanted to do it. So Jeezy also called his contacts in his PR firm to say, hey, um, this is what's going on here. This is the situation. She's trying to get more money. And, Jeezy is different. And while obviously, he's got a tribute to everything that he's doing, his son is a fashion designer and all these other things. He graduated from Riverwood Academy. It's a very prestigious school. Uh, he wanted to go in to get a clothing company and things of this nature. Um, I don't know. He might become a rapper. Who knows? But that's where things were going with Jeezy so far. Now, if you want to go further into that, Jeezy grew up with a lot of mental health issues. So here's what people didn't know, that this whole thing that's going on right now, that everybody's talking about all that, and this is happening, and Jeezy's mental health and all these things that Jeannie Mai's, y'all talking about her temper and all this. Jeezy has a temper too. That's one thing y'all don't seem to recognize. He has a temper. He has mental health problems. And he's always had them. And he wrote about them in his book. Like, Jeannie is not mentioned in this book. This book had nothing to do with her. So let that sink in. Now, Jeezy's other baby mother spoke out about this situation. She tried to slap Jeezy in jail for not paying what she thought was fair child support. She thought Jeezy should be getting and paying for child support more than what he was. She was mad that they had an agreement and then he was supposed to buy her a new car. And she didn't get that car. And boy, she went lit. So he had to pay her $30,000 a month. That's what was the agreement for their child. Now, Jeezy, knowing he's paying $30,000 a month, then you got Jeannie Mai or Jeannie Ma, whatever you want to call her, and all of these different things going on with this marriage. He's paying that kind of money, and now he's taking care of Jeannie Mai and her family, and she hasn't been working. See, when she was on the reel, she was bringing in her own money. Jeezy's noticed it now. She ain't really been doing no work. She been just taking care of the baby, but she ain't been working. She just taking care of the kid, and no revenue's coming in. Only revenue that's coming in is Jeezy's. She ain't really doing anything. So now this has presented itself to be problematic for Jeezy. I told y'all this thing is financial. And y'all keep trying to grab Mario Lopez and all these things about, oh, he like it this way and she like it that way. She don't like a lot of people in the house. He like a lot of people in the house. I'm like, man, look, y'all ain't getting this thing right. Y'all don't really get what this is. Marriage is about a lot of different things. All those things are small parts of it that plays in every marriage. And finance is normally the last straw. Jeezy seen something wasn't right. He seen their family and some monies that was not supposed to be going the way it was going, and went to take care of some things for family members or whatever the reason was. The money was gone, and he didn't like it. He didn't like certain things of his was being, you know, basically questioned. Um, he felt like, you're not going to talk to me that way. And he talked to her any kind of way and check her. And she feeling like, I got a baby now, so you just ain't going to check me like that. She speaks back, and he's already upset, mostly financial. What people don't know is Jeezy's not cheap, but he's very frugal when it comes to certain things he don't believe he should be paying. And in his mind, he shouldn't be paying $30,000 a month for a kid. For schooling and all that, 30,000 a month. He going to be hands on and try to control everything. He's a control freak. So he's the type that the compromise is got to go my way and no other way. That's the compromise. And pretty soon a person's gonna play along until they get to a position of power where they feel like, I don't have to put up with this bullshit. So that's what's going on here. You got a situation where you got a mutiny on your hands, son. She don't have to put up with that bullshit. And now you starting to see this is bigger than life, homie. This reality right here is what's gonna set you back. I'm glad that he found success outside rap, got into real estate, business investments. That's where your brain cells should be going towards instead of wasting your time dealing with these nonsense women. When you deal with nonsense women who really don't elevate you, she gives you false elevation while you're building up a social media class. You're losing in the big picture of everything because she doesn't really bring that to the table. She bringing, she bringing this model thing to the table to try to look like, like she's Gabrielle Union or somebody. It's like, what are they doing? It's just crazy. It's really bizarre out here. This world is like getting nuts and more crazier by the minute. Man, I hope these people get it together, but hell, that's on them. They got a child to think about. The victim is the child. All his other children, he's not with them no more. He cheated on the ex-girlfriend with Jeannie. She was the side chick. She was all bragging about that. Then she became the main girl. Well, look, I ain't want to tell nobody, but I'm quite sure the whole world gonna find out. But we'll say that for the Patreon. I was gonna tell y'all here, but I'll save it for the Patreon. Jeezy ain't the first rapper. You know, we'll say that for the Patreon. Now, Jeezy is different. They got different vibes. He don't like a large crowd. She does. Um, he's already paid for a lot for her family. Like it's a lot of stuff he took care of for her family, but that's cool if he accepts that. But when certain things are missing or certain monies is spent recklessly without his opinion, even though he bought her $100,000 bathtub. So he ain't being that frugal if he can spend 100,000 on the tub, but it's obvious it must be something he wanted also. So you never know, man. You got to look at it. Most people that's frugal has no problem spending money on themselves. They cheap to everybody else, but not to themselves. Oh, absolutely. So yeah, Jeezy's mental health. To put your son through a shower glass window, because he tried you, that constitutes anger. Angry black Negro. And you gonna go to court, spring that on you, and that's all she wrote. So on that note, I want to say shouts out to Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Ticket TV, welcome to HD TV, Misunderstood, Armando Black TV, and I'm out.